Yep, officially no shows. Yeah. All right. What's up, everybody out there in Yoga Land, NOAC Yoga Land? My name's David. I'm subbing once again for Caroline. This is your 9:45 to 10:45 quick flow. I'm not wearing a mask because there's no people in here, so this is lucky, specifically to you here out in internet land. So we're going to start our practice as we always do with a round of 3 ohms, and because we're here today, I'll toss in a prayer for you and to everyone who didn't make it to class today. So first, establish a grounding seat. Find a comfortable round of breath. Permission as always to close your eyes or find a soft gaze. Notice the quality of your inhales, slow and steady exhales. Feeling full with your breath, then emptying out completely with your exhalation. If you wish to join, please do so, whether that be your voice or simply just as a listener. we're gonna get moving a little bit quickly today. My intention is to get a lot of our mobility out in the beginning, and then we'll find some comfort in finding some stillness in some poses. So with that said, everybody will start out on their feet. If you're just walking in, just maintain appropriate social distancing. And I've been instructed that we can use our mask as long as we're stay at a limited number, and I think 3 is okay. So it's up to you. I'm electing not to do it, but that also means I probably will keep a nice, comfortable distance from everybody in their practice. So with that, let's work on kind of the unsung hero, our first of standing postures, our Tadasana, our Namastitihi, our mountain pose, whatever you want to call it. Here we are. So we'll bring our big toes together, our heels slightly open. Notice immediately how your body sets up. Just in a relaxed pose. Notice if your tendency is to lean a little bit back, lean a little bit forward, but try to work to find that balance. That might take a little bit more engagement than we normally would do in a standing posture like Tadasana. Most of the time this is just a pass-through. So let's make it an active posture today. Press down into your feet. Feel your quadriceps start to engage, but also lift up into the hip socket. Feel your heels press down and your calves start to light up and ignite towards that knee joint. That's just our legs. So just immediately, that activation that you put within, notice if you were going to press your feet down, the floor feels like it's pressing a little bit more firmly back at you. So try and match that energy alongside it. So heel, big toes together, heels slightly wide. Nice strong stance. Then we'll skip into the core for a moment and focus on the shoulders. Shoulders pressing down, but also lifting up through the crown of the head. So you're drawing down within the shoulders and trying to open up the front of the chest. Arms at your side, press down through your wrist and then forward to open up your biceps. So again, if you haven't, or if you started to sleep on your legs, bring your attention back there. Notice how much engagement it takes just to stand here. Abdomen, drawing back, focusing on the core now. Abdomen towards the back body. This diaphragm or your navel, drawing back as well. Think about your hip bones drawing forward, shoulders back, and maintain. Feeling your breath elongate your crown of your head and that navel area further away from one another. Invitation to close the eyes. Finding yourself to be nice and stable. Although you put in a lot of work here, try to find a moment where you can relax into this pose. So don't give up the activation within your thighs or within your feet. But try and find a place that you can soften. Try and flatten the arch of your foot. So pick up your toes and then try to draw your feet away. I know it'll take a little bit more practice, but flatten and stand. And try to, just that little middle arch, try and soften down in between. Yeah? Then bring your feet back towards your heels a little bit more. Shoulder blades draw down. Nice. Strong Tadasana here. Find your breath here in this active pose. Try and control the length of the inhales along with the length of the exhales. Finding a little bit more length through each breath. We'll breathe here for 5 more. With each breath, your abdomen draws closer towards your back body. You're softening the floating ribs. Shoulder blades relax down. Wrists are firm. Feel as you might sway from one side to the other. And when your next inhale, Drawing the crown of the head a little bit taller. Maybe you feel the ears grow a little bit more towards the ceiling. And an exhale softens everything. You can flutter open the eyes. From here, we'll maintain our relationship within the small gap within our ankles and our big toes come together. We'll extend both arms up towards the sky. So reaching up, wrists stay firm. Fingertips can be firm as well. The same action with our shoulder blades drawing down as if your arms were being pulled in opposite directions. So wrist up towards the sky, shoulder blades down. Maybe widen the gap a little bit and try and straighten through. There, nice. Inhale. Slight gaze up to where the ceiling meets the wall. An exhale, we'll slowly sit into our legs, bending our knees, sit bone drawing back. That same relationship with our abdomen drawing back towards our back body. Inhale, hold, exhale, presses up, reaches towards the sky. We're working with a little bit of motion here. So the full action from here, we'll reach up. We'll sit down. We'll find a pause here in the middle. This can be a Wachasana, but if you wish to participate, this is good too. Exhale, we'll lower all the way. Try to keep your heels nice and flat. Arms extend towards the front of the room. And then sit bones fall down. Legs extend up. Navasana, boat pose. Find your breath here for one inhale. Exhale, draws you forward. Same process brings you back up. We're going to do this with your breath. And try to bring a little bit of awareness within your breath. So again, this is going to be your practice, your pace. If you find you move a little bit better when you're moving quicker, that's fine. If you find you want to slow things down to find a little bit more activation, whatever works for you. But from here, making this into a little bit of flow. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, sit bones draw back, knees bend. Exhale, forward. Heels stay flat, extend your arms, feet extend, boat pose. Inhale, exhale, plant into the feet, press your heels down, brings you up through Utkatasana. Exhale, Tadasana. And again, on your Tadasana, try to establish that little bit that we taught here in the beginning, just nice and firm within the feet. See how that works within your practice. Then, moving with your breath. Do 5 of these in total. So we'll say we've done 1 already. Stand tall, sitting low. Draw forward, legs extend, plants the feet. Presses up, hovers for a moment, onto the side. Again, try to synchronize breath and movement here. When you've finished your 5, we'll find ourselves to extend long onto our backs, putting in early Shavasana. Or you want to grab your knees towards your chest, anything that feels like a grounded pose for you right now. Excellent. Just notice what's going on. We're just here, we're just moving around. Notice what parts of your body seem more alive. One still or carrying a little bit of deadness or dullness from the day before or the morning. Notice noticing the quality of your breath. All right, we're going to start working on managing what we can't see, but again, we're going to be doing so with movement. Throughout our standing postures, we'll also be doing them, working what we can't see, or trying to identify areas of the body that we can't visually see while we're doing it. Same thing goes here. If you want to sit up, I can give you my nickel Wachasana tour of where we're going. There's a couple of different steps we're going to be working into the flow. Again, this is going to be the quick flow portion of it. So starting here, legs long, extends up towards the sky. This might be your limit, but if you can access Halasana or plow pose, allow for your legs to go overhead, reaching forward. Actually, we'll skip a step before we get there. That's just a little quick warning of where we're going, or a little heads up. We'll sit back up, or if you're already seated, wonderful. We'll take our knees to bend in front of us, but where we want it to intersect is the back of the calf with the shin bone. So we're trying to create a little bit of awareness into this calf muscle and into this shin muscle. So pressing into one another, you might have to lean forward a little bit, and then you could press down to see if you find that engagement. So what you're using is the shin bone to spread it wide. So tighten the cross of your legs a little bit. Yeah. So more or less like your feet are slightly underneath, so where that muscle gets nice and in between that calf muscle. So don't think about crossing your feet so much as if you were going to stack them on top of one another, but intersecting underneath. Make a little bit better sense? I'll come show the camera here in a moment. But so where one is basically directly intersects the other. If you want to sit up on a block, since you have them, great idea. So using one block underneath your sit bones, going parallel with your hips, and then just try to find a little bit of an intersection. All right. So from here, sorry for the long-winded explanation in the quick flow class, how to sit down, but here we are. One leg intersects the calf of the shin bone intersects the calf of the front leg. Now from here, moving with motion, an inhale, we'll take our arms up for the sky. An exhale, drops right elbow outside of left knee. Inhale, reaches back up. Exhale, left elbow, right knee. Trying to bring that elbow eventually to the ground. Using whatever you need out of that back arm to just surrender. We're waking up the back of that calf, waking up our hips, waking up that core, and just trying to linking a breath with emotion. Again, your practice, your pace. So if you feel this works a little bit better for you to do with speed, do it with speed. If you feel like this is one that you can move and have a nice breath with, then do so. No wrong answers here in class. That's why it's called practice. No medals, no awards, no ribbons. Do it one more time on each side. Then, when you're ready, trying to resist using your hands, try and alternate that cross of the legs. So you might need to use your hands when it comes down to finding that alignment. If that alignment doesn't work for you at all, throw it out. Sit in another variation. So from an inhale, arms go back up, and we breathe again. Just alternating. Sit bones nice and grounded, so if you feel one hip lifting, maybe don't go down so low. Maybe slow down your pace. Or if you're not understanding why we're doing this and it doesn't work for you, maybe move a little quicker. Again, your practice, your variation. Couple more rounds on each side. in Baddha Konasana with our feet come to touch and legs wide. Feeling again the sit bones ground down. Try and grow a little tall here in this. Abdomen draws back, shoulder blades soften down. Feeling nice and supported by the ground beneath you. Inhale. From an exhale, don't think about extending long, but think about sinking the weight of your body down. You can arch your back slightly. If that works for you. Or you can envision bringing the center of your chest towards your feet. Releasing into our groin. Softening within the abdomen. Allowing for a little surrender here. Notice what changes within our breath pattern, where it originates, how it feels as we move through our postures with vigor or effort versus these moments when we're still. Trying to create learning through stillness or movement through stillness versus always having to be the doer in a practice. Sometimes our body, gravity, or we can get a little bit more esoteric, a past life might explain to you how to do something or how this connection exists in your body. All right, with that, we teased it earlier, so we're coming back into it. So we'll stay here seated for the moment. I'm going to show you, we're going to do 3 variations of this, but we're going to work it how you see fit. I'm going to offer all 3 that you're welcome to try. This is going to be more of a time basis on each variation versus, doing 10, doing 20. We'll give it so you can kind of get out of your head on how many you have to do and just figure out what works for you in your practice. So we'll start from here. Halasana will be our first direction. If this is your limit, terrific. Use this as you draw one leg in, one falls to the side. Shavasana would be an easy variation for you. Then when you go back, legs come together, and any amount, arms go back, legs can go up overhead. If you're going through the full variation of Shavasana, we'll go up, legs back, extend forward, leg folds out to the side, intersects, like if you were setting up for tree pose, falls back. So using your core, lifting you up, and your shoulders drawing back, rounding in, extending the legs, going up overhead. Then we'll rotate on towards the other leg. First variation, Shavasana. Second variation, Marichiyasana. So we'll go through 1 and 2, and then the third one I'll teach when we break down for that. So from here, same start point would be from Halasana, over up top. Using your abdomen drawing down, your feet are getting heavy. You're picking yourself up. This leg folds in, pressing towards the thigh, extending long. Same actions going back. So trying to put a little pace into it. Controlling the movement of both legs, arms, all at the same time. Abdomen, all at the same time. Again, if the pace of moving quickly doesn't work for you, throw it out, slow it down, try and move with a little bit of control, or at least the thought of control. So perception of control. We'll do this first round, Shavasana, so where the leg bends in towards that tree pose angle. Starting now for 75 seconds. Oh wow, that sounds so scary. So trying to link your breath with your movement. Leg draws in, try to bring that thigh down. Nice. Beautiful. Extends long. You seem to have a little bit of tightness in it. Just be casual about it. But if you want to pause within whatever ones that seem to be working for you, like if you want to just stay here And then just envision sitting up tall in it. And then just gently folding forward. So trying to bring that foot a little bit closer in the thigh, a little bit closer in the thigh, sitting up a little bit taller, sitting up a little bit taller rather than extending long. So think about what your legs are doing versus trying to fold, touch, go over. All that stuff can come later. This is all just for show, you know. So whatever the idea of just finding the ability to sit up tall and ground down. So you might need the block.
Yeah, I eventually find that it's so far.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, in different practices, different people, different days of the week, all of it impacts where you're at. Sorry, I got caught up here in my 75 seconds. But same thing with the next one. So if you just want to draw that leg a little bit in and then sit up tall on your block and then extend forward. So moving into the second variation, we'll do the same thing for 75 seconds. Like we did, alternating one leg to the other. Both legs go up, halasana, drawing right leg in, Vrichyasana, extend. Legs go up, over. See how many you can do in a minute and a half. Or 75 seconds, rather. Or maybe you only want to do 2. You could even put that foot on that block too, that other block. So just maybe it's going to be a little bit engaged in that hip, but its gravity is going to work a little bit. But I want you to, you got to experience it at the same time without wanting to fight it. I don't want you to be having to fight it. How we doing? 10 seconds. Can you squeeze in one more on each side? Now, once we land, round 3, just as easy as round. What would be round 1? Extending long, as if you were going to fold, arms go up in shoulders. Extend and fall back, abdomen draws, shoulders touch down. Now from here, shoulders touch down, lift slightly, then bring it up. So trying to lift your sit bones up as if you're trying to kick up in the air, then letting the feet fall back. So adding a little bit more core engagement into this. It is definitely a little bit more challenging, but trying not to roll on top of your neck, just staying into that upper back. So we'll do the same for 75 seconds. Again, synchronizing breath with movement. Little lift, whoop. Try and control that movement versus letting the movement control what you're doing. So sometimes gravity is something that we can use to our advantage, and sometimes we're just going to throw us off. Nice. Now lower the legs down. Beautiful. Rolling forward. Try to draw that abdomen down. Slow. Nice. Hip. Yeah. Think about grounding your legs down the whole time. So start back from 1, folding forward. Lift slightly. Feet touch down. Abdomen draws down. Try and keep your shoulder blades still on the ground the whole time and slow it all down. Nice. Keeping your legs together. Press your legs down. Then lift yourself. So when you roll down, try to keep your legs, think about your legs being the only thing that matters to keep down. So versus like having to move all of it at once, just focus on your legs. Yeah. All right, 10 more seconds. Or find your an early Shavasana. Doesn't necessarily have to be, these are all suggestions. I had a teacher who would say the only difference between a teacher and a student in practice or in class is that y'all can get up and use the restroom whenever you like. So take that in mind. I know it's a little bit silly, but also we're all just students of one another and learning from one another. All right, ground yourself back down here. A lot of our big heavy movement is over for the day. So notice how your body feels. Notice where your head space wants to go, where your mind wants to wander to. Does it work a little bit slower, or does it feel more active as we move our body? Reestablish that quality of breath. Allowing for those floating ribs, the low ribs, to soften down, abdomen to spread out, shoulder blades touch down. With your next inhale, we'll extend our arms long behind us, touching our fingertips long away from our toes, and we're stretching away some imaginary rubber band. With your next exhale, we'll roll upon the right side. Then, using the left hand, pressing ourselves back, finding that first downward facing dog. I know the most eloquent way of getting it, but facing towards the back of the room. Your dog, however it works for you today, I'm not going to focus a lot on how our downward facing dog should look or feel today. We have some other fish to fry. However, this is your moment. We'll take 5 breaths here. Calling to mind anything that you might have learned from a previous class, a previous teacher, or previous time you've been in this asana. Allow those instructions to guide your practice, to inspire you, to remind you that what you have already is good enough, and the simple fact of showing up here and committing to you and your practice is all really you need. But you didn't come here just for that. Let's slowly begin to feel our feet and our hands crawl towards one another at the center of the mat. So from your downward facing dog, just slowly making your way towards your forward fold. An inhale will take you halfway to lift. Long, flat spine, crown of the head extends long away from the sit bones. An exhale folds you forward. The next inhale, that same intensity of pressing down we had in our Uttanasana, or Tadasana in the beginning of the class. Press down and draw yourselves up. Exhale, hands relaxing towards heart center, and then elbows extend long to the side. We'll face towards the exit wall. Actually, let's face towards Rampart Street here. Allowing for elbows and fingertips come to touch. If your joints feel okay and manageable, we'll bend into the knees and step our feet wide. Work with that one more time. Create a little bit of energy here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time for good measure. And exhale. This time, we'll find that right leg to pivot towards the mirrors. That left hip will stay nice and open. This back foot points a little bit more inward towards 90 degrees than you would think. So back hip continues to roll down, back heel presses down. Inhale, extends, grows the crown of the head, grows the ears tall. Exhale, extends long, Trikonasana. Again, we're going to be working here for a moment. Well, actually, that'll be all right. But try to make can you make your stance any wider? You're just a tall guy. Yeah, that's all right. So focus here, again, on just getting your back hip to open. So from here, working on what we can't see. The relationship to your back body in this pose. Notice what your back hip, your top hip is doing. Notice what your top shoulder is doing. Notice what the kidney band of your back body is doing. Can you bring it all a little bit back? So you're rolling that top shoulder, you're rolling that top hip, and you're also taking your abdomen to draw backwards. That same engagement we had when we were standing. Finding your breath here. Where can you soften? Often we find that doing something in a pose is the only way we're able to accomplish it. Soften, slow down. So bring your hand up a little bit taller, like towards the bottom of the knee here, and then try to just think about growing into the pose rather than collapsing down. So extending this side body and growing the crown of your head further away. So you're wanting to surrender down, so bring it up Activate, boom. And then draw your ribs in. Nice. Breathe. 5 more breaths here. Told you, we're not going to do a whole lot of motion in this. This is about finding a little muscle memory, creating space. Where can we create or access knowledge that we already had? Breathe. If ever you're feeling a little bit sticky or imbalanced in a pose, bringing your breath into that area or trying to dedicate your breath into that area. Next, inhale, as if somebody were drawing your fingertips up from behind you, pulling you up like a balloon, brings you back up to standing. We'll pivot towards the back wall. Same thing, other side. So, back hip, back heel, focus on what, as we move into the pose, what we can't see. The back body, that back heel pressing down. Big toe mound of the front leg supports the weight of the body extending forward. So try not to grow from the outer edge, but try to grow from that inner edge. As you extend, draw the hip back. One hip, top hip comes forward. So you're trying to tilt yourself in that same direction. If standing is your peak here today, let grounding your feet down be your energy where you expend. So think about that left hip drawing back and near there. If you're going forward, hand could come to the top of the shin, onto the thigh, or pressing down all the way in towards the feet. Try and flatten your back heel a little bit. So rather than that drastic angle, maybe flatten it a little bit, yep. And then try to extend, rotate this top hip back as if you were trying to lean on that wall behind you. Draw your abdomen in, ribs in, wrists firm, fingertips come together and act as if you were growing up out of the posture. Growing your arm taller, growing your head further away from your body, growing that back leg further down. Draw your quadricep in towards that hip socket. So activate your quadriceps to send that hip socket longer. Breathe. 30 more seconds here. And now the torture person. This is a quick flow class, right? Abdomen draw back. Think about your kidneys, the back of your body, breathing backwards. It's crazy. We can originate our breath from anywhere. If I say breathe from your back heel, can you send your energy in towards that back grounded heel? Now, from here, imagine your big toe mound being where the energy starts. Drawing all the way up through your fingertips, pressing you up. Inhale, takes you up back towards standing. Nice. Now from here, keeping toes towards rampart. Hands can be on hips. You can bring your hands to interlace behind, or you can keep them down, finding any forward fold. Allowing this to be a release here, you can be on the blocks if you'd like. So using just your blocks to stack up to be your little bit of support, even if it's one on top of the other. So again, this is a moment of surrender. A place we've all been before in a yoga class, if you've been to a yoga class before. So where can you reteach or relearn or re-educate yourself about your practice to soften at this moment? To know that you're capable of doing the work without having to put in all the effort. One more standing variation, then we're done here. So don't feel like I'm for this quick flow class. Anyway, pressing down through the feet. Feel yourself lift back up, shoulder blades draw back. Again, that same action as if you were standing before, outer edges of the heels pressing down, as if you were trying to elongate from your big toe. Now, from here, pivoting back over towards the mirror wall with your right leg. Allow the hips to stay square towards Rampart Street. We're going to be setting into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Trying to find a little bit more length in between our posture or our stance. Everybody's form, everybody's body shape's a little bit different. So a part of what we're doing here by holding it a little bit longer is finding where we relate into how that works in our practice. So some days we feel like we're extended here, some days we're here. So that might be our Warrior 2. So wherever you're going, same actions that we were just in Trikonasana apply here. Big toe mound of the front leg supports the weight as we bend into the front leg. Back heel is where we're extending this outer left side, I guess it is for everyone else too, yeah. So then shoulders come in line and extending fingertips long, but also feeling as if you're drawing your shoulder blades together. Abdomen draws back. Same actions that we had before. Trying to breathe that kidney band towards the wall of the person behind you. I know, I just said a mouthful. Warrior 2. Can you find a little bit more length? Yeah, bend. Press down into that big toe mound. Allow for the weight to roll on the inside of that inner arch. Then press down into that back heel. And the left hip rotates towards the sound of my voice. Left kidney band, back shoulder rotates towards the sound of my voice. Your right arm is taller than your left. So learn to manage what you can't see. Same thing applies here. Straight through those arms. Draw your shoulder blades in as if you're trying to squeeze a pencil in between your back. So nice and long, yeah. Just that little simple rotation opens up your bicep. Now press down on your outer edge. Try and grow tall all the way in that right hip. Or the left hip, rather. Grow tall. I'm here for you. So whatever you want to do, I'm here to help facilitate or not, you know? Do your thing. If you want to get into a child's pose, that just goes for everybody within any practice. If there's ever a moment that doesn't feel like this is connecting for you, then take a break. Tell the teacher. I'm happy to listen. So, excellent. From here, feeling yourself ground down. Act as if you were going to kick me in the face, because all this stuff is really hard. Try to envision lifting that front foot. I know, yeah, it almost seems impossible. It just gets you to activate within that quadricep, within that shin bone and the calf bone. All right. Next, breath. Inhale, sweeps the arms up. Exhale, pivots the feet towards the back of the room as we set up towards the other side. Try and set yourself up here without having a ton of instruction. I really can go on for days and days and days, it seems like. So I'll let y'all be a little bit adventurous and explorative within your own posture. You've done this before, either be on the other side, or in a previous class, in a dream, a past life, however. What can you learn from past history or past experiences in classes? Can you soften here? What happens when you soften here? That back quadricep. Try and activate this back quadricep. You see how it works? Yeah. Nice. And then use that to rotate the other way. Yeah. So the more you activate that quadricep into that hip socket, it protects that as in one strong long joint, or one strong long piece of steel rather. Same thing can apply here. Activate your quadricep. Trying to use that energy to roll that hip out towards the exit wall. Create a nice strong line in that hip socket. Next, inhale. Pressing down within the feet, we'll come finding ourselves wide-legged towards Rampart Street. We'll take a subtle fold one more time. So whatever relates to you, if you tried one hand position and want to go for another, You can allow for the elbows to grab hold. You can even keep your hands on your shins. Your practice, however works for you, however sings your song, speaks your language. Again, allow for that stillness to enter. Moving your body gently without moving. Sounds kind of irrational, but about creating passageways or subtle awareness without moving things as a gross. So with yoga, we try to talk a little bit more specific versus moving our hand, moving our arm, moving our leg, but opening up our bicep, rotating our kidney band, trying to create those just little subtle neurons and hope to deepen that awareness in our practice. When you're ready, pressing down within the big toe mounds, hands can come onto the hips. We'll come back to standing from here, going out the way we came in, arms extend long, find a little bend into the knees, inhale, and exhale brings us towards center. Then, as quickly as we got here, stepping towards the front, an inhale, moving through that first round, one more time, lowering down, falling down, and then crossing at the legs, pressing ourselves back through a chaturanga, an upward facing, and back towards downward facing dog. Again, not a place we've been a ton today. Have other opportunities to work on this later in the week if you so wish. Today is not really about that. It's just about your practice and feeling okay to not have to do. So within your downward facing dog, you're okay not doing. Take 5 more rounds of breath here. Just a quality of breath check-in, quality of life check-in. Noticing the subtle differences between the first time we were here and the now. Then, when you're ready, we'll take an inhale to draw yourself forward, heels press away, crown of the head extends long. That same action we've been talking about all day, about low floating ribs and abdomen drawing towards the back body, towards the spine. Try and find a little bit of lift. Very engaged posture here, plank pose. Find a place you can soften. And as you feel that softening come on, bend into the elbows and then gently, centimeter by centimeter, lower yourself all the way towards the neck. Again, we're going to be working what we can't see here. So primarily that means that entire back body, but mainly we're trying to focus in within the tops of our ankles, the tops of our big toes, the kneecaps, and the quadriceps. So that's all the lower part of the body, lower legs that are touching towards the earth. We want to do our best to maintain that awareness and activation throughout all of these grounded or supine back bends. Pressing down within the big toes, just find your kneecaps to lift. So try and flatten yourself. Good. Yeah, it's not too difficult. Just takes a little bit of, bring your feet together, and then try and lift your knees. Nice. Tops of the feet touch down on towards the ground. So use that to lift off. Yeah. Nice. So keeping that throughout all of our back bends is going to be what we're focusing on. So it's not going to be how much you can lift up and bend into this posture. It's going to be how grounded you can keep your legs. From here, keeping your feet nice and firm, we'll extend our elbows towards our side body, setting up for a low sphinx. As we lift up, try to draw the abdomen away from the ground and the crown of the head towards where the ceiling meets the wall. Elbows will draw back, but frankly, not as much as important as keeping everything pressing towards the earth that we cannot see. So the tops of our feet, toes, thighs, lift. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly draws you down. Try and extend further away from your feet as you lower down towards the ground. Once you touch down, inhale will bring you back up. Same actions apply. Elbows draw back, shoulders in line with elbows. Crown of the head lifts. Try not to be super aggressive within the gaze and the eyes here, but allowing for the shoulder blades and the chest to open to move the upper body. Exhale. Slowly draws you down. Then top of your inhale draws you back up, elbows draw back. This time we'll sustain here. 3 breaths. Nice long inhale, feeling if you could peel your abdomen up off the ground. Shoulder blades open. And on your third, slowly brings you down towards the earth. We're going to be doing the same action, but this time we're going to be using our arms extended long. So that same resistance within our legs. Arms will have, as if we're early on into our Tadasana, extended long, wrists firm, shoulder blades draw back and extend away. Feet press in towards the earth. And inhale as if we're super people. Inhale spins you up. Notice the difference in that subtle action. Where do you feel a little bit more shaky? So we'll do 3 rounds here, same variation. Using your breath to create a little bit of movement and mobility. Try and draw your feet together. Imagine if you're trying to squeeze something in between your ankles. So want to stand on your feet, but the whole social distancing thing won't allow it. So try and press your feet in towards the earth. Nice. On your 3rd round, we'll find our hold. Arms extend as if you were going to make yourself as long as possible. Why is this so much more difficult than the previous? Because you're holding it in your own abdomen. We're not using our elbows to support our body weight. Then from here, once we're done on our last hold, extend away. We'll press down, toes tuck, round back for a brief child's pose. And whenever you feel ready, we'll meet on top, sitting on top of our heels. If you're here with me last week, we worked a little bit on Ustrasana. So we're going to work again with our camel pose. Instead of having our feet together like we were last time, we want to find that alignment of having our heels in line with our body, finding that 90-degree angle from the back of the calf, back of the thighs. But the thing that is similar to the previous is that same energy of pressing that ankle, that foot, trying to press everything down in towards the earth and grow from this posture rather than letting our legs stay nice and soft and then just falling back into it. So by pressing down, we're activating the back of our quadriceps. This is where we want to balance most of our weight in this posture, is in that where the quadricep meets the glute. So from here, hips gently tilt towards the front of the room as if you were going to tilt up. Shoulder blades open. If you're going to be moving into the fuller variation, try and move at the same pace. So rather than trying to clunk into one side and then clunk into the other side, moving arms overhead and then any place that feels authentic to you in your practice. So you could stay here, keeping your hands on the back of the hamstrings and telling your hamstrings to activate in towards your hands. Or if you'd like to do the fuller variation, you can bring your hands any bit, maybe towards calves, blocks, tops of shins. Finding your breath here, noticing what's different in between each back bend. So one thing that I know we all have a little bit of tendency towards is those floating ribs. That same action of those low ribs down at the sternum, drawing the abdomen towards that back body, creating more lift and roundedness within our spine. You're sleeping on me with your feet. Press down. Yeah. And then try to push your hips forward. Yeah. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to be doing 3 rounds of this total. So knowing that, which in our pacing will come out for the first round. Usually after 3 rounds, things generally start to fall apart. The first round, it's like I know this. The second round, you finally start learning a little bit of something of how you're responding. And then the third round is you kind of enjoy it and maybe relax down into it. So same setup. If you have a block and want to bring them towards the outside edges of your feet nice and tall. If you don't have a block, I'm sorry. So just to show those folks who have blocks, be right here if you so choose. But if you don't have blocks, forget entirely what I said. Press down, try to draw your thighs up in towards that hip socket and use that energy to press your hips forward towards the front of the room. Before you start to fall back, try and bring yourself forward into the pose. Then notice what goes on in the back of those hamstrings. Can you feel a little bit of life? It can be a rhetorical question, but if you want to scream it aloud, then that's great too. With an inhale, if you're moving towards a fuller variation, arms up overhead, allow it to extend you long, drawing your abdomen back, shoulder blades back, and then slowly open up your shoulder blades, allowing for yourself to sink back into your hand. Again, press your hips forward. Try not to let your head and neck surrender here, but be active. You're extending the crown of your head away, so not surrendering in towards your throat. Yeah, nice. Bring it closer. So farther up the back of towards the back of your calves. So when you go back, you got to go back so far. And then focus on pressing your hips forward only. So yeah, even from here, just try to draw your hips forward. That's the work. Same with you. Draw your hips forward. Yeah. Nice. Big breath here. Try and move in unison with yourself. So, and draw your thighs together. You're going a little wide within your knees. So press down, but try to keep everything in one line. And then reach up. If you haven't come out of your second round, please do so. Take a breath here. If you want to sit back in your ankles. Again, we're going to do one more round to round out. 3 is a magic number. Actually, we're at 42. So I would suggest the third round. We'll have it really quickly. We'll hold it for 30 seconds. An inhale takes you up. Exhale lowers back down. Again, try to find your breath here. And then once you've reached your posture, unfortunately, we have to start making our way back out, back towards. We'll extend long. From here, lower back on towards the sit bones. Extend both legs long. And then from here, we'll simply just draw the knees in towards the chest. Before I send you out with the Shavasana, just a gentle rock and roll on the spine from left to right, from side to side. You can lift the sit bones up off the ground. You can try putting it back down. Then try and find a little bit of stillness within here. Nice grounded seed shape. Feeling the warmth of your body within your hands or within the thighs, pressing against the back, your shin. Then once you're ready, as if you were sprouting from the earth, allow for yourself to gently fall out of this shape. Legs extend long, arms extend long. Placing the backs of the wrists on towards the ground, shoulders touch down. Shavasana. That, although it's physically most people can find accessible, however, the elusiveness of this pose truly comes in the self, your ability to drop in, to accept that you're here, that the work is done, that this is your reward, just breathing today. Being alive. Slowly bring yourself back to your breath, your physical body, the shape in which you're in, the room in which you're in. Start to animate that awareness slightly through your fingertips or your toes, activating with a gentle wiggle. Allowing for your breath to come back to its normal pace. Back into the room. Whenever you're ready, invitation can be to stretch your arms long overhead. Again, creating that distance between your fingertips and your toes long, far away as you're waking up for the first time. Allow for that exhale to roll you on upon your right side. Anything that you might have carried within you into this practice or into this room today that won't serve you for the rest of the day, rest of the week, or the rest of your life. If you so choose, you can leave it here. Allow for any last moment of stillness. And when you're ready, press down into towards your top arm, allowing for yourself to sit up tall. Eyes can remain closed or heavy. Savoring any stillness that might have come throughout this practice, knowing that it's always available inside of you. Giving thanks for the practice of yoga, for all the teachers and practitioners that have come before us, those who are currently in this room and in this space, and those that will come after. We say thank you and namaste. Namaste. And thank y'all. I didn't know if I was going to have folks today, but this is awesome. I'll be here again, I think it's Monday, which tomorrow at 9, I think, and then on Wednesday up top on the roof, it'll be more on Iyengar based class, and then Friday again subbing for Aaron. So anybody who wants to come hang out, I'll bring my box. We'll do some yoga. It'll be fun. Those on the internet, thank you. I forgot to kind of acknowledge y'all a bunch today, but you're awesome. We started out just you and I, but now it's just everybody. All right, wear your mask, wash your hands. I'm here for questions if you need it. Shaka. Oh, and if you forgot to sign the book, also, if you could on your way out. How are you feeling? All right. I'm loving what you're here and trying to get a little bit more into it. I think it's some hesitation in what's holding you back in some of your postures too, but you definitely have some tightness that you can work out.
Yeah, it's all like in my center of gravity in my hip, so how far are you gonna get it? That's your problem.
Yeah.
Like where you're going to
Start. I mean, for what I try and do with people that have a little bit of, because a lot of what creates tightness is that back of the hamstring creates tightness in the front. So is maybe just lying postures on your back and having a little bit of openness. So basically, just starting here. Yeah, and then opening up with a bent leg, opening it across, and trying to keep your hips grounded.
When I didn't have class the other day, I was just in here putting my leg up the wall.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean all this stuff when it's.
It's so tight in here.
I know.
It's so painful.
It's a place that you can grow out of. As somebody who had it.
It's like a dental floss and then also.
Oh, totally.